All right, good morning and welcome once again to Crossfire. My name is Dapo Banjo.
And I am Aga Ini Ishoma.
All right, today we'll take you through our regular path, and that is to bring so many stories along your way. We'll be talking basically about story-making headlines, and that is everything about current affairs, what is going on in government, and so many other issues. That is what really talking about. We will go straight into what we have today. We have two gentlemen who will be joining us in the course of the show, and it promised to be a very, very interesting package. We'll be talking about much ado about the visit of the president to the Southeast and so many other issues, Anambra elections and all of that. You don't want to go anywhere. The package is really very interesting and very educative. We'll be right back after now. All right, welcome once again, and thanks for joining us. It's still Crossfire with Dapo and Ishoma. And like I promised you, we have two gentlemen, two political analysts, social commentator. They just follow, the trend of issues in the country. And both of them are present with us in the studio today. Let's meet the general himself, Mr. Dikpo Alayoku.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning and good to have you on our show. Another person is somebody a lot of you like, especially when we spoke about something that really, really trended. He's not a person, he's a barrister, and he's a political and a social commentator. Let's also meet Julius. Julius Akiola. Ayola, what's wrong with you this morning?
Thank you for joining us.
I think I have an A factor for this show. I called Alayoku, and then, all right, Julius, good morning and welcome to our show.
Thank you for joining.
All right, let's quickly just establish the basis for our conversation this morning. President Muhammad Buhari was in the Southeast, particularly Ebonyi State, and I remembered his presence in the Southeast was informed by a lot of things. A lot of people may not know because it didn't make the public domain. People are of the opinion that probably the visit to Ebonyi State is probably politically motivated. But I'm not going to take a position, but I know that the elections in the Southeast is not in Ebonyi, is in Anambra and all of that. So the president also visited Anambra State. So a few days, to the elections in Anambra State, so many things happened. We had a classical case of the security aides of the incumbent governor of Anambra State being withdrawn. We have other issues, that are worthy of note. The child of Dim, the Kimba of Inewi, that is Odumeku Ojukwu, apparently left Abga, to join, or pact or support or give his support to the APC, the All Progressive Congress in Anambra State. And don't forget that before now, he's been really talking recently what killed his father, who was responsible, and that he does not want to belong to the same party, she belongs to, and all of that. So he's really been talking. Now, President Muhammadu Buhari also storms the grand finale of the APC governorship campaign ahead of Anambra elections on Saturday. Yeah. He attended the grand finale of the party's campaign in Anambra State ahead of the elections, and so to a very large extent, the president is in the Southeast, to do his thing. Now, the Anambra chapter. The Anambra State chapter of the Labour Party has also announced the immediate suspension of its chairman, Mr. Uche Ugoji, and 7 others for allegedly collaborating to endorse the incumbent governor, that's Willie Obiano, for re-election in Anambra State. And this was announced already by the State Publicity Secretary in person of Mr. Edi Okoye, who made this known yesterday in Oka. Now, with all of this, my first question, really and truly, will be to look at it from one of our stories that is really making headlines, and that is the president himself telling the Southeast don't worry, 2018 budget is for you. You will benefit tremendously, especially in the area of infrastructure. Now, so let's look at this as we build up into our major conversation for today. So the 2018 appropriation bill, we spoke about it extensively last week, where we just try to look at the elements of the budget vis-a-vis the plan of the Federal Executive Council to return the budget year to January to December, and looking at time, left in this year. Will it be suffice, or will it suffice, or is it adequate enough for the legislative arm of government to sit on that, appropriation bill and work on it and pass it as an act latest by the last days in December or very early in January? That's another, side to it and all of that. Would they be willing? Would they sacrifice their break, the festive period, to really to talk about the budget and all of that? So let's look at that and build up to our conversation this morning. I'm going to start from you, Dipo. Let's just look at it very closely. Southeast will benefit tremendously from 2018 budget. That was what President Muhammadu Buhari assured the Southeast when he was there. The president gave this assurance yesterday in Oka, the Anambra state capital, during his two-day visit to the region.
I think what should have been driving the narrative is Nigerians will benefit from the budget of 2018. Okay. Because Southeast is not the only part of Nigeria. But this does let you know the type of politics we play. Maybe perhaps if the president...
Do you think this is politics? Do you think this is...
No, that's what I said. Maybe perhaps if the president will have cause to visit Southwest next week, okay, maybe he's going to also tell us that Southwest will benefit. So maybe it's because he was in the Southeast, that's why he said that. But let me quickly just say something on the budget, because when we were growing up, almost as a young man, we used to know that the fiscal year was running from January to December. Mm-hmm. And I think that was the practice basically under the military regime. What the head of state just needed to do was read the budget the following Monday or the following morning. The Minister for Finance will just give us the breakdown, and then the budget begins to run. But since the advent of democracy, if you look at that, Section 88 or Section 89, I can't remember perfectly, that gives that separate responsibility to National Assembly to appropriate and then to examine the budget. When it says the President shall cause the statement to be presented to the National Assembly. So that means the National Assembly not to appear, especially at the federal level, because we're talking about states now where they are mostly rubber stamp. At the national level, it's like the Senate and the National Assembly in general, they have always been issues concerning the budget, especially when it has to do with what is going to come to them. So that has always been the reason why there have always been this delay. And then I remember that after the 2015 supplementary presentation, the Senate president said that, yes, they were going to avoid delays. That is why they are going to set up a committee that will interface with the executive at the level of preparation of budget, so that there will be little areas of skirmishes when the budget is actually presented. But interestingly, the 2016 budget was with 2017 budget was with them up till May/June. And from the tone of the Senate president, the day the president presented the budget, I think about a week ago, you will be rest assured that the budget is going to be a very, as a guest, will be a very light guest that will stay long with the National Assembly, because he was talking about there wasn't interaction which we expected between the... Now coming to the issue of what is basically before the barrister comes in. It's usually, that is Nigeria for you. I think there was a time we read the book, they call it Much Ado About Nothing. Because to me, I don't see any big deal in the president visiting any part of the country, because I think the Constitution says that the whole country is the constituency of the president. It could have some political undertone, but the question is, what is the essence of visiting a state or any part of the country? The essence is for the government, or the president especially, to have a full grasp of the problems confronting the people of the country. But if the president wants to, like we visited Ebonyi, I don't think they took him to the villages where actually government will need to work. What they do is
he probably stayed only in Abakaliki.
They will take him. And you know one funny thing, at the moment when the
go
president
to
is coming, the bad spots of the road will quickly be patched up so that the president will have a smooth ride. That is if he goes by the road. But maybe he's going to go by chopper from... so the essence of visit is actually defeated. But by and large, I think that the president needs to go around, and we understand his limitations why he couldn't go around, because you must be invited before you visit. Yes, you can visit on your own, but more often than not, you can be invited to go and commission projects. Basically, that's what the president do. And then you also have a friendly state governor. And if you know that the very first state the president visited when he became the president, even before he formed his cabinet, was Calabar, when he went to commission this Calabar highway stuff. Then he has visited Ebonyi. And these are friendly governors.
Well, like myself is
asking,
myself is asking, why in 2018 is this political? Is this leading up to 2019? Because, like you did say earlier, the president has the right to visit the country, various parts of the country, to familiarize with their challenges and issues. Now, the Southeast has had a lot of trouble since 2015. 3 years down the line, thereabout, he's visiting now.
But don't forget that...
doesn't that generate a lot of questions to
that's if you want to generate questions, because the question you ask yourself is, how many states has the vice president visited? He was to visit Lagos State on the Sunday preceding the Monday when he was supposed to visit. Yeah, I think the governor was summoned to Abuja, and then they explained to him why he couldn't, because there was the issue of sickness. He was supposed to visit, I think, in Enugu, when they wanted to have Igbo Southeast Economic Summit. That time, Masob was still flying high, and they said, IPOP, if you come, there will be bloodshed. There could be security implications. Yes, before he went to Ebonyi this time around, IPOP was threatening, but you know that their wings have been clipped. A lot of security issues have been taken into consideration. So when you are talking about visiting, the question you ask yourself is, how many states has he visited? He visited Edo because the Edo was organizing one thing, when that was Oshomole. Yeah, he visited Oshun when Oshun was marking 40 years. He visited Ogun State. So there must be something particular that the president, or that will warrant the president going, not because, let me just go and see what is happening. And then you must have a friendly governor inviting you.
Okay, let's take your thoughts on this, Ayola.
Well, for me, I don't expect the president to travel around all the 36 states to show that he's with the people.
Why not?
It's democracy. One, it may not be convenient for his health. Secondly, it involves a lot of money.
OBJ visit all the 36 states when he was...
You don't have to go around the states to show that you are their president. Okay?
No, he went there to launch. He said, what Obasanjo said that time was that he wants to be sure that most of the projects that these state governors come to talk about the National Executive Council, he wants to... How did he find out that the money, the 2.9 billion naira released to Fayoshe was not used for the...
What implication does that have on the national purse, on the nation's purse?
The only problem I have with that visit is that if the president was, I won't say well advised, if he had given it a second thought, that statement that the Southeast would benefit from the 2018 budget is very petty. And it's
really?
Yeah, it's an admission that you have actually neglected them. To say that, this time you're going to benefit. It means that you give rabble rousers the opportunity to start speculating by saying, so it was intentional neglect that we have suffered all this while because this area of the country did not, give him all the votes he needed at the time. So for me, that statement is not, and I agree with General that you can't just be going around the state and be telling them this time you're going to be, we are all Nigerians. Nigeria is one constituency. So there is no need to segment benefits for a particular section of the country. Because as Nigerians, we can go to any part of Nigeria to eke out a living for ourselves. But when you start saying that, this particular area would benefit, you are leaving room for speculations. As to the budget, for me, I would expect the National Assembly to have the interest of Nigerians at heart first by forgetting their holiday. Let's be frank, what is the big deal in the budget? There's no big deal in the budget. The job of National Assembly is not to become a supervisor to the budget. Your job is to match expenditure with projections. You guys want to do X, Y, Z. Is it visible? Is it possible? at what...
Where do you want to get money from?
Yes.
Unfortunately,
how do you source the funds?
Okay.
Mr. Julius, unfortunately, that's what the National Assembly seem to have been doing.
No, that's not what they do.
Most of the time, they supervise.
No. What they do...
In that sense.
They are to supervise after the budget has been passed. That's the oversight function. I'm not saying they can't do oversight. But in the course of passing the budget, you don't do oversight. You don't tell the executive, how can you say you want to
use 150 billion
to do 150 billion? So it's not your business. It's for you to say to the executive. What is the executive to do? They are to initiate policies and carry out programs.
What gave birth to budget padding? The scandal about budget padding.
The idea of budget padding is because we have a tradition where sometimes our lawmakers think that they are also part of the executive.
So in that way, is it that they do not know their responsibilities?
Yes. We are going to get out of that system. We are moving out of it slowly. The next set of Nigerian parliamentarians will be very educated, will be very seasoned, with all the right exposure. They will not do what these ones are doing. They will understand that.
Are you certain about that?
I'm very certain about that. They will understand that their role basically is to ensure that the government of the day is doing, or is fashioning out policies that will go with the campaign promises that the government has made. You cannot, as a National Assembly, be tinkering with the budget to tell the executive, you cannot do borehole. You have to go and do, what have you? You have to go and do a site. You have to go and buy a site for people. You cannot do that road. You have to go. It's not your business.
Okay.
Your business is to ensure that the fund to be utilized for that budget is well utilized. It's not for you to say you have to do borehole. You have to no. You don't have that privilege.
The legislatures, do they also have the power to ensure that what government has captured in the document,
that's the oversight function,
exactly, is well utilized for whatever they want to. That's where their work really comes in.
If you look at Section 88, 89 of our Constitution, it gives the National Assembly the power to summon any minister of the Federation
to come and explain.
To come and explain. Look, when we passed the budget, we earmarked 40 billion naira for your ministry. Now, what your ministry is doing is contrary to what's on the budget. That is the oversight function, okay? That function will not arise until the budget has been passed. When it has been passed, it's at the implementation stage that the National Assembly is expected to be a watchdog. And so, how come this airport is still looking like this?
Okay.
When we start on the budget, we earmarked X amount of money. We were told that a contractor will be mobilized as far as a particular benchmark. How come we have not seen what we sat on at the National Assembly? That's their job. It's not for them to insert constituency project or personal project into the budget. Okay,
but are we particularly saying, information have it that Ebonyi State has not been visited in the last 17 years, by any president, and so President Muhammadu Buhari is also breaking a record.
That's not a breaking news. That's
now, considering the agitations that we've been having in the East, as far as Nigeria is concerned, the Southeast has been crying foul. They've been crying, marginalization. They've been crying that they've been marginalized. A few days ago, Ohanaeze Ndigbo came out to say it's become very obvious now that the Southeast of Nigeria is actually neglected. And it was just a few days after the president announced his 2-day visit. And in just 2 days, the president has been to like 3 major states. He landed in Enugu, he was in Ebonyi to commission the project. Now he's in Anambra state to wrap up his, his trip to the southeast and all of that.
This issue of neglect from federal government, we must not overflog it.
Okay. Do you think the southeast, the southeasterners, are they asking for too much?
Look, they have to ask themselves first.
Okay.
Forget the federal government. In our states, the allocation given to us, is it being well utilized? Okay. If you go around the state, they have their own budgets too. You can't blame federal government for everything. Sure. When we say federal government is neglecting a part of the country, we are saying so as far as federal items are concerned.
Okay, not the person of the president.
No. As far as items that are falling under exclusive list are concerned, you can say they have been neglected.
Okay.
But what about intra-issues? Federal government won't provide potable water for the people in a particular state. Federal government won't provide primary health care.
But that's the mentality a lot of Nigerians have.
Federal government won't provide trunk C roads within your state. That is the job of your governor.
Sure.
Most of us, we ask too many questions from the federal government. We believe federal government is everything. The energy we use in fighting the federal government, if we gather the energy...
we use half of it to
1/10 of that energy to face our various governors to say, you got Paris Fund.
What happened?
Where is the money?
Okay.
You go Sure P Fund. Where is the money? For example, in my state, Ondo State, we have a super deck. I don't know why or for any reason Ondo State should not be looking like Lagos today.
Even better.
Or even better. What is the population of Ondo State? Governor Mimiko, when he was there, commissioned Millennium Schools. Sheer waste of money. Millennium School will be okay for a place like Lagos because of the population. But what is the population of Ondo State that you will spend a humongous amount of money on Millennium Schools? The cost of maintaining those schools is outrageous. No reasonable government wants to put its fund in that kind of project. Okay? If there is no water in your local government, you should hold your local government chairman accountable, not the federal government. But what we do in Nigeria since the time of Jonathan, of course, this government started that idea of, that sort of criticism, very uneducated criticism, blaming Jonathan for everything. If somebody dies in an accident, oh, it's Jonathan. we should stop it. I'm not saying that federal government is doing fantastically well, but they're not also doing badly. But we must also channel our energy to the state governors and the assembly members. Those people were voted for to checkmate the executive in their various states. Are they doing so? They are mere, like I said, they are rubber stamp. You ask yourself, the way you fight National Assembly, we have not seen that being replicated at the state level. Sure. The governors in all the states, in fact, they are like field marshals. If you fight the governor as far as the local government, you can be removed. In some states, they don't even have a local government council. What they have there is caretaker. Caretaker is unconstitutional. Our Supreme Court has given a ruling on it since Akan AG of CROSSFIRE State, almost 25 years ago, that you cannot have a caretaker in any local government. To do so will be unconstitutional.
Okay.
Then almost all the states
did that.
What you have is a sole administrator. We are not complaining. Then we go to complain to Buhari. We go to complain to Saraki. Let us complain about the ones that are very close to us, the closest to us. The closest institution to us is the local government and the state. We don't complain about them. It's as if they're having a field day.
So, I mean, President's visits to the Southeast is no big deal, as it were.
Of course, it's not a big deal, but for the purpose of election.
Yes, exactly.
2019.
Yes, 2019.
It's a calculated visit.
Oh, okay. What about the election on Saturday?
Look, Abga is going to win the election. I'm not going to... I believe the APC, I mean, they are going to give a match.
What's informing that?
Of course, it's a Nigerian thing. In most cases...
Incumbency, the power of incumbency
plays out.
Okay.
More so, Governor Obiano, from what we read in the papers or what we've been reading in the paper, is not doing badly. It's not doing badly. He's doing, and from the debate, we could see that those who are even struggling to get to that office are not really impressive. They have not said anything that is going to make you feel like, oh, I have to change this guy.
Obaze spoke well.
Fine English.
For the people. Fine English.
But no substance.
Gentlemen, can you just pause on this thought? We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll take these discussions further. We'll be right back.
All right, we're back, and thanks for staying with us. It's Crossfire with Dakwa Anishoma. We have the General, Dikpa Olayoku, in the studio, and we have Barrister Ayola in the studio, too. We've been talking about, now, about Anambra's visit or the elections on Saturday or the president's visit. It landed in Enugu. He was in Ebonyi to commission a project. He got 2 traditional titles, you know, and all of that. Now, I mean, I haven't laid that foundation. There is election. I mean, 2018 is election year. Yeah. And by 2019, we're expected to see if, I mean, Buhari returns or another party entirely is taking over from him. And at the same time, election is on Saturday. We have APC sounding really very strong. We have PDP sounding very strong. We have the incumbent APGA standing really very strong. We have UPP standing really very strong. And the debate was a bit, on the hot side, and all of that. It was a bit on the hot side. Now, I just want to find out.
He just said something now.
The debate was not on the outside. The debate was not impressive.
Okay, it was.
For
That's
the
a new
21st
one.
century government, is that the kind of debate you are expecting to have?
But social media was awash.
Of course, it's Nigeria. Anything will be watching on social media. That debate, for me, is not as intelligent as expected. I mean, they are not addressing policies. All they are addressing
is accusations and counter-accusations.
I'm telling you.
You made 75 billion, you declared 35 billion, where's the rest of the money?
That's not substance. If you go into that, what are you going to do? And how are you going to go about doing it? Nobody's explaining that.
I think probably the moderator too didn't do a good job.
Everything can even, Okay, let me just...
But is this all about the beautiful speeches? Because politics generally has shown that it's one thing to have fantastic speeches. It's another thing to be a bad administrator when you get there. So is this just about speeches?
Look, okay, of what political, let's go on. Of what political value is the visit of President Muhammadu Buhari to all the elections that are ahead of us? The first one is the Anambra elections, and then subsequently we're going to be looking at the bigger picture.
Maybe we remove the political and say of what value.
Of what value? Okay.
Because to me, I don't think there's anything the president can do, especially that President Buhari, that will endear him to the hearts of majority of
the Igbo people.
Are you quite sure on that?
It's very deep. Honestly, it's very deep. It's a personal thing.
Sir,
it is personal. I don't think so. I think it's political. I think it's ideological. I think it is. Exactly. I mean,
it's a personal.
No, I still want to take the thought
It's a
from
personal
general
thing, because if you see someone who is very close to Buhari today, and our Igbo friends are attacking the person, if the guy wakes up tomorrow morning and criticizes the president, he becomes their friend. Before the 2015 elections, where I work, I always tell people, 95% of my colleagues in the office are Igbo. 95% that I see from Monday to Friday, if I leave this place, I'm going to an office, my colleagues are Igbo. Before the 2015 elections, one guy very close to me posted something on Facebook that he just listened to President Buhari on BBC, and that the president said, what I did to the Igbos during the war is going to be a child's play compared to what I'm going to do when I become the president. So when I got to the office, I called him. I said, come.
Did the president
I said, I followed the events, I monitor events. Why did you say this? He said, okay, General, that man must not become Nigeria president. It's a personal thing. Interestingly, when the president came in, he didn't behave, I'm sorry to use the word, like a matured person. It's like, what you did to me, I'm going to do it to you. And so that is exactly what is happening. The visit to me, if any of his political advisors ever told him that he can win the Igbos, at least the majority of the Igbos to his side, I think they are doing a miscalculation. So that's why I'm not looking at the visit from the political perspective. I'm looking at it from
the value in itself.
This man is my friend. Because if you have followed the governor of Oboyin, even before now, because a president's state visit is not something you plan within 2 days. It takes a lot of issues into consideration. So it wasn't because the Igbos went to him, the Igbo leaders went to him and said, you have not done anything to show that you love us, that they quickly or hurriedly packaged a visit. No, a lot of issues go into a visit. And if you have followed the governor of Oboyin for the past 1.5 years, he has always had good words to describe the president. Like the president is a president that doesn't look at your political and your affiliation. Like the president has helped us in Ebonyi because of this Abakaliki rice stuff. So just like if you listen to, but we have some governors that will, like a governor was telling us that he was expecting the president to greet him happy birthday yesterday. So they are not patronizing. So it's like I was just with what you look at the friendly governor. The governor of Cross River State, if you have been watching him, he holds the president in highest. At times, you begin to wonder if this guy actually belongs to the opposition.
Exactly.
So those are the things that goes into consideration. And don't forget, when the APC launched their campaign in Anambra State, the president was not there. It was the vice president that attended it. Yes. So it follows naturally that by the time they're going to have the grand finale, as the leader of the party, the man came to Ondo State when Akeredolu was having the grand finale of his campaign.
Correct. Sure.
So if we are,
so it's just timely. It's not political.
It's just like, okay, let me, like the Bible say, let me use one stone to kill two birds. Yeah. Okay, I have a friend in Neboyi who have been urging me to come. One of the closest, maybe from Nigerians don't know, one of the closest person to the president, whom the president holds in high esteem, is the Minister for Science and Technology, Dr. Gunaya Ono. And this is where he comes from. So at times there are certain things you need to do to show appreciation to guys that also have been following you. They'll say, well, if I've been following you, what have you done?
Yo, that makes it more political than just looking at it from the surface. It's on the personal surface, because this man is my friend. Yes.
How do I do?
It's a political visit.
Well,
there's nothing to add, nothing to remove.
It's very political.
Highly political.
Okay.
Designed for a political gain.
No, but no.
Let's read up on that. Exactly.
The visit is a political visit.
Okay. Why?
Designed for political gains. In 2017, a few days from now, there'll be an election.
Yes.
Maybe if I come and I throw my weight around and I tell them very sweet words, don't worry, 2018, all the budget is going to be dedicated to Southeast.
But then you concur that there is nothing the president will do that will make the Southeast have love for him. No. So how then does it become political? What gain? Have you made that statement?
That is a political visit for political gains. Does not mean the gains will come.
Okay.
The gains will not come.
But the motivation is
designed for a gain. But that gain will not come from the Southeast.
It will not come.
It won't come.
You're very certain.
I'm very certain that the Southeast will not give their votes to APC or to President Buhari. No. Their reason may not be very sound, like you said, maybe personal. Sometimes we do things without good reason.
Not even having any
Some people
reason.
just tell you, I don't even want to see that man. The way he handled the IPOB issue did not go down well with the Southeast. And it should not go down well with any reasonable Nigerian who has respect for the rule of law.
Okay.
For me, the way the issue was handled was very bad. It was handled as if we were in Thomas Hobbes' age of government being nasty and brutish. You can't go take someone from his house. Let me not say go take, I won't use that word because that means I'm being categorical. But to go do Python dance in somebody's house and the person is missing, there's a theory of law, the doctrine of the last sin. The last sin, doctrine. Who saw him last? Okay. So if we were to ask now, where's Kanu? Who do we ask? We'll be asking the military.
Why should you?
That's why a lot of people are asking them produce.
But it does not mean that
they have.
Exactly.
Yes.
But the way they arrange their dance at that point in time and up to today, no statement.
Will the president visit as may? I mean, will the president's visit be more of an assignment? A president, the leader of a nation, doing what he's supposed to do if he had visited Abia State or Rivers State or Bayelsa State.
It doesn't mean it won't win 2019, but as far as Southeast is concerned, that visit is a belated one. All those people
they didn't value it because
all those people you see come out in their numbers are possibly rented crowd. Nigeria politicians rent crowd.
But they are Igbo people.
Look, they are hungry people too. They are Igbo, but they are hungry. The fact that you are Igbo, but doesn't even be hungry. They are hungry. We thought everybody will get to the stadium. They will still do what they have to do. In Lagos, they give them Indomie all the time, but they will still vote for who they want to vote for. And sometimes they just take the Indomie. If you don't take the Indomie, they are still going to ride the
Indomie or any other brand.
They give them Indomie everywhere.
We're not quite certain about that.
Did you not see what Ganduje did in Kano yesterday or 2 days ago?
So what exactly does
to be making tea, Meshai, they call them. He's giving them Bonvita, 3 crates of egg.
Beverages.
To the Nigerian youth to be making tea. And he's saying more of that will come. The other day somebody was giving empowerment to do coughing. What kind of rubbish is this in our country? So you go tell yourself that, oh, you are doing very well. You are telling people, the youth, to be making tea by the roadside. Is that the kind of government you want to run?
So the APC has not done anything to earn the backings and the support of the Southeast?
There is nothing the APC could have done. That's why I don't think the visit is belated. even if the president has visited since 2015, June, and continue to visit every month, there's nothing he can do to appease these people. I'm telling you because I know their sentiment.
It is personal.
Let me give you an
You are saying it's personal, he's saying it's political.
Yeah, that's why I say, because these people have political strategists that read the barometer of what is happening to them. They will know that there's nothing he can do. Before the 2015 election, one man came out. He used to be an ambassador. The man was trying to tell the Igbos. The man said, I am 80-something years old, that at times when he reads some things these guys are writing about the candidate Buhari, that he can't just allow that thing to pass like that. He was giving an example that when Buhari, as a very young officer, was somewhere in the Onitsha command, that some of those guys that were captured as prisoners of war, that the president, that Buhari then made it possible for them that their rations or the supplies will be given to them every morning. The man said when he was about to be made an ambassador, that Buhari never met him, that he only saw his name being mentioned. But, you know, some people started hitting this man, that, oh, he must have collected money from Buhari. So the issue of Buhari is not belated. If, and I'm saying it, if Buhari has been visiting Southeast since June 2015, up to today, there's nothing they will have done. So, and I don't think his political strategies would not have seen that.
A lot would have happened. I'll take your thought. Let's take this call. Hello, Ambrose. Good morning.
Let's take Ambrose's opinion.
Hello, Ambrose.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for calling in. Do you think the president's visit to the Southeast is political or is personal?
It's political, and as much as well, it's a propaganda.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because since inception of the president becoming a president in Nigeria, I believe he would have taken it as a responsibility to visit the Southeast.
Okay.
But at the point now, it happens to be that it's almost time for elections, and the president has now seen sense or reason for him to visit the Southeast. It makes no sense. You know, as it is, people's minds have derailed him. Nobody has solid trust anymore on him as a president, especially those from the Southeast, based on his statements and his coordination as a president.
Okay.
So you don't expect who is not giving you so much, or you don't expect to give much to who is not giving you so much.
Okay.
So I think it's more or less like a medicine after death.
All right. Thank you very much, Ambrose. Well taken. I mean, strong opinion there. All right. Let's take you. You are really very.
No, he just gave a drift that even if he had visited severally since 2015, nothing.
Do you think if he had been visiting, it would have made a difference?
If he had been visiting,
yes,
it would have made a tremendous difference.
Okay.
But when he came on board, he said, I will concentrate on those who gave me a particular number of votes. Those statements are unfortunate statements, and we were thinking that they were just said they will not be acted. He acted towards those statements, towards that statement, by saying, I will concentrate more on the area where I have
people who actually gave me the vote. Yeah.
Those who gave me 5% vote should expect 5% concentration. That is a very wrong statement. But he had the opportunity to change that statement by giving them a feel that we're all together.
But he said that severally. He said that severally. But we're together.
There are a lot of things he has said, but we are not seeing those things. I'm fighting corruption. I'm fighting corruption.
Because his belief.
So, all he needed to have done when he came on board was to have given the Southeast a feeling that we are all together. IPOP has been there since. We have had MASSOP. They have been there since.
But when they asked him this question in Anambra, he told them, he said, my visit to the Southeast is a strong expression of my belief in one Nigeria.
Every Nigerian president will tell you they believe in one Nigeria.
Okay.
As we are seated here,
so his statement is that I am for everybody, I am from nobody.
But from what we have seen, we cannot say for real that the expression "I am for everybody and for nobody" is true. It appears that that statement is, the more you look, the less you see.
Okay.
So if you are paying them a visit 3 days or 4 days to the election, it means that if there was no election,
it wouldn't have gone.
You would not
have been there.
It's very simple.
Okay.
It's very simple.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I mean, we try as much as possible not to blow hot, even though you differ your opinion.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.